You're watching TVC Breakfast. The Nigeria Labour Congress is threatening to embark on a nationwide strike over termed federal government's delay in the implementation of the new national minimum wage.
The recent meeting of the technical committee established to work on the consequential adjustment arising from the 30,000 naira wage ended in a deadlock after it failed to reach an agreement. Representatives of government and labor refused to shift grounds on the percentage adjustments on the salaries of civil servants, while labor proposed a 30% salary increase for officers on level 7 to 14. The federal government wanted 9.5% salary increase for them, and for officers on levels 15 to 17, while labor proposed 25% increase, the federal government was only ready to offer 5%, insisting that whatever adjustment arrived at must be in line with the 168 billion naira provided for in the adjustment in the 2019 budget. Our social commentator, Shijibumi Adebi Bennett, is here with me in the studio to talk more on this. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
Now, are you envisaging a showdown from the NLC, looking at the fact that it is refusing to shift grounds on this matter?
Yes, and the government has all the time and all the what adjectives should I use now? But the government is in charge now, and I think they can do something about it so that we don't have a showdown.
What do you mean when you say the government is in charge and can do something about it? Because government is insisting this is what it can offer. This is the percentage it can offer, and NLC is saying, no, this is the percentage we're looking at. Is
Yes.
are they trying to avoid a repeat of what happened in 2011? Is that what it is for the NLC?
I think the challenge is breaking communication and trying to shift grounds, because as at the last time they met, the NUC brought, and the TUC, they brought, sorry, I said NUC, NLC and TUC, they brought their offer of 30% and 25% respectively when it comes to 7 to 14 levels and 15 to 17.
Yeah.
The government brought their own position, which is 9.5% and 5%.
5%, yes.
So it was supposed to be, let everybody sleep on it, come back, have harmonize these things and shift grounds for each other. But the government is now trying to stick to that 9.5 and 5%. And I think the only thing that can be done about it is the government to, bring out their papers. Let the NLC and the TUC see the effect of this 30 and 25% across board.
And you think that will solve this challenge?
Transparency is key, because we're not talking about the minimum wage now. We're talking about the implemented, the gradual increases from levels 7 to level 15.
Yeah.
So the minimum wage is not affected, but the gradual increment. Yes. So you can have a situation whereby the government that has a wage bill of 156 billion in a month jump to like 250 billion. Some state governments will also have that kind of challenge. People that have been paying 5.6 billion, that has been finding it difficult to pay that kind of money, now having to pay like 8 billion, 6 billion, we find it very difficult to pay. But the only thing is you need transparency. You need to make NLC see that, see that this is very important. This is what the figures we jump to. We would rather have a gradual and a very negligible increment and be able to pay than have something on the paper that we cannot implement. Because if you continue this way, so many governors are still finding it difficult to pay the 18,000.
Absolutely.
Now, if you emphasize and insist on the 30% and 25%, then that means people will not be able to pay salaries.
So for government workers now, they have to wait a little longer. Is that what it means?
I think so, but you remember the president said to the minister that everything will still have to be paid in arrears. So the implementation has started from April. So irrespective of when this decision is resolved, everybody will get their arrears from April. So that's good news for the workers. But the only thing is, can we have this thing resolved on time?
A big question there. And do you think it can be resolved on time?
I think so, because if the government finds it very important that, because we can't lose strike days, we can't afford it. We cannot. So we have to do something about it. And the TUC and the NLC have to be understanding enough as well to shift a bit of ground. Then the government has to do likewise.
All right, we have in the studio social commentator Shijibumi Adebi Bennett in here with me in the studio to take a look at this. Now, Shijibumi, the 168 billion naira, that is the benchmark within which, in the 2019 budget, within which the minimum wage must have to abide by. In the first place, how right or wrong is that?
Yes, I think it's based on the former statistics and the all the yardstick used in measuring that. That's okay, but with what we have now, you know, Mike, that will surpass that. The budget now will surpass that because maybe there has to be a supplementary budget, or the new budget has to quickly come so that we can harmonize the different areas and incorporate it into the new budget.
It seemed like for the federal government to put 168 billion naira in the budget and want everyone to work within that limit, it seemed to didn't give room, or seemed not to have given room for negotiation. It seemed like it was already planned how government wanted it to be.
Yes, and that is the position government is holding on to. And we have chastised government on that because there has to be flexibilities. So you have to look at the reality and see how you can shift ground and see how the new bill can be incorporated. But by and large, I don't see that as the problem of the major problem is not going to be on the federal government. It's the state governments that we really have to consider. How do they move from where they were to where they are going to be? How do they pay these salaries?
The capacity to pay.
Yes, to pay. Then having said that, you know, we've always emphasized on the government, but let us shift also to the labor itself. What about capacity building? What are you doing for your members? You know, I've had cause to compare minimum wage of our neighboring countries, where you have Ghana is looking at 288 Ghana cedis per month, which is less than 20,000 naira. We have Benin Republic at 40,000 CFA monthly, which is like less than 25,000. It's only when you get to like a South Africa where you have, I think, 3,500 rounds. That is almost like 90,000 or less than 90,000. So, but for our neighbors, because we go to all these countries, we see the standard of living. What are they doing that we're not doing? If someone in Benin Republic is earning, if the minimum wage there is less than 25,000, the minimum wage in Ghana is less than 20,000. And we move from 18,000 to 30,000. And the 30,000 can even not afford us the standard of living in those countries. So we have to look at other issues like inflation. We have to look at other issues that are not in the salary.
And these are the issues that the NLC is not looking at,
That's
your
what we're
own
saying.
opinion.
Yes, that's what we're saying. Capacity building. Because we've seen NLC itself run businesses previously, that they couldn't even manage it.
So this is not about the amount of money
they get.
The amount of money.
Then what
salary.
are they doing to even help on state basis? NLC, TUC on state level basis. What are they doing? What are they doing to help the governors? This is where we can come in. This is how the resources and hygiene of the state can improve, because these are the people that are in different parastatals, they're in different agencies. How much are they turning into the coffers of the government itself? That's their capacity. That's what they should be looking at.
So in your opinion, it feels like NLC is not striking the right chord when it comes to there mustn't be antagonism with the government every time. There can be a way where you when it comes to the economy, you put everything on the table, dissect everything, and say, see, government, let us see how we can work towards this direction so that there is value for the standard of living and all of that.
That's
is that what
the
you're
word.
saying?
That's
okay.
the word.
Okay.
Because if the minimum wage gets to 56,000 naira today, what tells us that inflation and some other things will not erode that value?
Right.
So these are the other things we should be looking at. Everything should not be about just salary. Because we're still looking at the public sector. When you come to the private sector, how many of them can even afford to pay?
No, but I think when it comes to the private sector, they are a little ahead of government when it comes to payment of salaries and all of that. In as much as there are discrepancies here and there when it comes to there is no structure. So, but a lot of companies are doing way far above that.
Mike, when we look at the private sector, I don't want us to just focus on the multinationals.
Okay.
SMEs. How much are they paying?
Yeah, because the SMEs actually form the bulk.
Yes, because there are people that still pay people monthly 10,000, 15,000 in Lagos. I'm not talking about Gombe or Ekiti. In this Lagos, we have security men that take as low as 15,000 for 30 days. So these are all issues that we have.
So it's likely there might be a strike. Is that what do you see?
We are not praying for that. We are not hoping for that. We still believe that this government can still do something. Sit down with labor and find a way to resolve this issue.
Let there be solution on that table.
Yes.
Shinji Bumi, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah. Right.